Hey everybody, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me today. I have another layout for the cut shop, and I'm going to be using the new Sunny Side Up collection that Ashley designed for my layout, and also the Summer Sun and Fun cut file. So I don't know if you've checked out this digital / printable collection yet, but it is so pretty, and I've printed out several of the papers here, and I don't have a 12 by 12 printer, so I used 8.5 by 11 paper here. This is just white cardstock, and you can see some of the different pattern papers, and there are some of the ephemera. I actually printed those twice. There's some wood grain, there's some geometric shapes, there's this really pretty watercolor teal background. This is another sheet of die cuts and ephemera, and so many pretty colors. There's lots of pinks and yellowish orangey colors and black and white, the gray. It's just really pretty, a fun summer collection. And so I have a design that I thought was going to look good, but I wind up changing it. I'm going to use the word poolside, or the title poolside, that's from that cut file. And I went ahead and cut it at an angle diagonally on some white cardstock, and I wanted to use my pictures on top of it at an angle. But the more I looked at it, the more I just didn't like it. I don't know if it's the angle of the pictures or what. It just looks like she's sliding down the page because she's reaching out the side of the pool. And yeah, it just kind of bugged me the more that I looked at it. So I fix it here in a little bit. But in the meantime, I'm going to audition a couple of papers here to see which one I like best behind this cutout. And I settled on the blue with that really pretty teal color. And that's going to serve as my title. And I really like cut files like this that are big words, because you can enlarge them and use them as a title and a design element all at the same time. And it kind of gives you a guide of where your pictures can go, and then you embellish all around it, and a lot of the work is done for you. So I think that's always something fun to do. So I'm going to stick my pictures down here. One is actually a little bit bigger than the other, and I did not want to reprint them. Sometimes I just don't notice things like that until I print them, and but it winds up working out, and it's not that big of a deal to me. So see, it looks like she's kind of sliding off the page. I don't know. It's like, what is she reaching for? She's going to fall off the page. And I turned it right side up, and I like that a lot better. So I'm going to just scrap this whole diagonal idea and make it straight, and I'll do that here in a minute. But I did want to add some more of the pattern papers behind the pictures, but that just looked too busy. I've got a lot of color going on in the photos, and so I didn't want to have a lot of busyness behind them to compete with them, because I know I say this a lot, but I want the pictures to stand out, because that's the whole point of doing this. And so I don't want to put something behind it that is busier than the pictures, because then the pictures kind of get lost and it kind of defeats the purpose. That's just my opinion. There's no right or wrong way to do this. That's just my opinion. So I'm cutting some long rectangular strips of the papers here. I've got some of the pink, some of the blue. Okay, so here's where I said, okay, enough of this nonsense. This just does not look right. So I'm going to just butcher this whole nice sheet of cardstock and fussy cut out the title. And it's going to look a little bit better. So I like this better. I like that she's straight up now. It doesn't look like she's going to fall off the page. All right, so now comes the mixed media work. I'm going to use some clear gesso here on my background. And then I decided, instead of using watercolors, well, I'm still going to use them, but I'm going to use them in a different way. I'm going to use modeling paste and color it with some of the Shimmers products that I have. And I'm using a really pretty mango teal color. It's actually called Caribbean Sunset, and it's more of an orange flavor. Well, not flavor, but color. And then this is a spritz in Cotton Candy, and it's a pink color. And so I just wanted to get a really light pinkish color in the background. There are some dark colors in this collection, but I wanted to focus on light. I wanted this layout to be light. I wanted the light blues, the light pinks, and so I wanted this really subtle pink in the background. Since I've got a lot of the blue already going on with the pool water in the pictures and the title, I wanted some contrast in the background. And I'm just smudging this on. I'm using my palette knife here, and you know, this is pretty thick, so I want it to be textured and just kind of messy. And then I'm going to add some splatters here with both of those colors that I just used. And I know this is going to sound really crazy, but you know, I scrap a lot of pool photos, but I was so excited when Ashley came out with this collection, and I saw her sample layout when she advertised the collection coming into the store, and she scrapped a pool picture, and her children were sitting in the pool with their arms on the side of the ledge of the pool, and it was that brick color, and it's the same brick color that we have around our pool. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm so excited that there's a collection that matches the brick. See the brick there in the pictures, because that's just a weird color, you know, as far as it's not pink, it's not red. What color is that? And this collection matches it perfectly. It winds up being, it's like a pink, peachy color, I guess you could say. I'm definitely not a technical color namer here, but it matches perfectly. And I was so excited that I could scrap pool pictures and have something that would go with that brick, because it's in almost every pool picture that I take. If my kids are standing on the steps, I'm going to get that color in the picture. And so I love this, and it coordinates so well. So I'm going to glue everything down. I added a little bit of the blue thread that I have in my stash, and then I got the bright idea that I needed to add something to the top and the bottom, just like a little layer of the blue. And then I discovered that I cut too much, and my blue paper wasn't long enough to fill that spot. Yeah, I was just having all kinds of issues making this page, but it does turn out in the end. I save it. I figure it out. You know, sometimes you just make a decision and you do it, and then afterwards you think, why did I do that? I didn't even think that through. Yeah, that was what I did. So I decided to add a little bit of blue to the background, not a lot. This is some more of Shimmers. This is Creamies and Ride the Tide, and it's really pretty. Now this is something I don't even wind up using. Another thing that I thought would look good, but in this case it doesn't. I did another layout not long ago for Hip Kits where I created a shadow effect with some of the letters of the cut file, and I put the letters back on top of the cut file, and it created the shadow effect like that. But I didn't like it. I tried to color those yellow, and it was too much, too busy, so I scrapped that and just took the little white pieces that cut out of the words and stuck them on the blue, and I like that much better. It's a little more subtle, and it's not so bright and distracting. The next thing I'm going to do is come in with some of the die cuts that I cut out. Again, I have not learned how to do print and cut yet on my Cameo, so I just use scissors and cut them by hand, and I don't mind doing that. It's actually kind of fun. So I'm going to add some little heart and label and things up at the top, and then I punched out the yellow piece at the bottom because it kind of reminds me of a sun. And then I've got the hearts, and then that little piece that says "Here comes the sun." So I'm going to get all that glued down. And sometimes I use my glue, and sometimes I use my ATG gun. And the reason I go back and forth is if it's something that I think I might move later on, I'll use my ATG. But if I use that quick dry adhesive, it's not coming up. So I did some stitching here with the light blue thread, a little bit through the top, through the title there, and I'm also picked out some wood veneer that I've had in my stash for forever, some hearts, and that little fun piece. I believe the word fun is from Freckled Fawn, and the hearts are from Studio Calico, and I'm going to leave them wood. I'm not going to change the color of those because I like the light, airy look of those, and they just kind of go with everything else on the page. And I've also got a flare button there. And then the last thing I'm going to do is add in some sequins, and they're just random sequins from a couple different brands I've had in my little sequin dish, and pink, teal, and yellow. And I did add the date and a couple of stamps, and that's the final page. I like how it turned out, even though I had a couple mishaps. I did add those blue strips to the bottom with some white cardstock to take up for the extra space that I cut. But anyway, let me know if you have any questions. I really enjoyed how this turned out. I know I already said that. So thanks for watching, and make sure you check out the cut shop and check out this new collection because it is really, really pretty. So I will see you guys next time. Have a great day.